Hey guys, let's get more news about Dallas, but first, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like. Dak Prescott gets special message as Cowboys star steps away. Tyron Smith signed a ceremonial one-day contract with the Dallas Cowboys on Wednesday, officially walking away from the game. But during his retirement press conference, the big offensive tackle gave a very special shout-out to quarterback Dak Prescott. Smith spent 13 of his 14 seasons in Dallas, the majority of those with Prescott as his quarterback. He logged 8 Pro Bowl selections and was an All-Pro on 5 occasions, 2 first-team and 3 second-team selections. Smith spent last season with the New York Jets, starting 10 games. But during a day about him and his contributions, Smith took a moment to single out Prescott. "I also want to recognize Dak Prescott," Smith said. "One of the best teammates I ever had. Dak cares deeply about everyone in the locker room, and he's more than a teammate, he's a lifelong friend. And I'll always have your back. You'll always be QB1 to me." Smith was one of the best at his position for over a decade. But injuries started taking their toll, leading to his decision to step away from the game. He ended last season with the Jets on injured reserve with a neck injury. "After this past year and over the years of injuries and things like that, it just kind of felt like it was the right time to hang it up," Smith said. "I don't want to be that guy down the line where I'm struggling, and I want to be healthy for my kids." In all, Smith started 171 games, 161 with the Cowboys and 10 with the Jets. He started every game he appeared in during his career. Smith left the Cowboys for the Jets last season. For owner Jerry Jones, it was hard to see Smith in another jersey. "It was like losing a family member when he went to the Jets." "Really was," Jones said. "And I couldn't talk to him. I couldn't have small talk. We had some great times in his career about things that you could talk personal about. I had a tough time picking up that phone when he left us. So it was with great pleasure that I put that old Jones on this contract today that will be the last one he signs in the NFL." Smith has a stacked resume but is missing a Super Bowl. It's something that Jones dubbed a tragedy. "It is a tragedy that we didn't get a Super Bowl with you sitting out there at that left tackle, and sitting there with many of the other players that you mentioned here today. But that doesn't take away from the fact of what you've accomplished in the NFL, Tyron, and that doesn't take away from the respect that you see in this room." The Cowboys are looking to bounce back from a 7 to 10 seasons. A key will be keeping Smith's buddy, Prescott, healthy. The Cowboys quarterback is coming off a hamstring injury that limited him to 8 games last season. Smith back home to retire a Cowboy. Tyron Smith signed a ceremonial contract allowing the standout left tackle to retire with the Dallas Cowboys on Wednesday, which prompted beaming owner Jerry Jones to declare, officially a Cowboy. Jones wasn't smiling a year ago when the Cowboys made the business decision to move on from the longtime anchor of their offensive line because of injuries, which led to Smith signing with the New York Jets. "It was like losing a family member when he went to the Jets, really was," Jones said. "And I couldn't talk to him, I couldn't have a small talk. I had a tough time picking up that phone when he left us. And so it was with great pleasure that I put that old Jones on this contract today that will be the last one he signs in the NFL." Those 13 seasons with the Cowboys easily won out, particularly since it's been less than 2 months since 6-time All-Pro right guard Zach Martin, Smith's teammate for 10 years, retired after spending all 11 of his seasons in Dallas. "The moment I stepped into Dallas," Smith said at a retirement ceremony attended by the 34-year-old's family and plenty of former teammates and coaches, "I knew this was home." Smith made 8 Pro Bowls in a 9-season span that included both of his first-team All-Pro nods. But the injuries piled up, and he didn't play a complete season over his final 9 years after missing just 1 game through his first 5 seasons. "After this past year and over the years of injuries and things like that, it just kind of felt like it was the right time to hang it up," Smith said. "I don't want to be that guy down the line where I'm struggling, and I want to be healthy for my kids." At his best, Smith was among the most dominant linemen in the storied franchise's history, a 6'5", 320-pound frame that seemed to come out of a cartoon book. He wore knee braces on his elbows and still had the athletic ability to keep nearly every pass rusher off the blind side of quarterbacks Tony Romo and Dak Prescott. Smith was the first of 3 offensive linemen drafted in the first round by Dallas in a 4-year span as the number 9 overall pick in 2011. Center Travis Frederick was a late first-rounder in 2013, followed by Martin a year later. Frederick retired following the 2019 season. Smith played right tackle when he debuted as a 20-year-old rookie out of Southern Cal, making the switch to the higher-profile left side a year later. "You can't beat the group that we had," said Smith, who made 161 starts with the Cowboys before making 10 with the Jets. "We felt like we were on top of the world and unstoppable, and it's no better feeling than that." Dallas had 7 winning seasons and 6 playoff appearances during Smith's tenure, but couldn't get past the divisional round. "It is a tragedy that we didn't get a Super Bowl with you sitting out there at that left tackle," Jones said. "But that doesn't take away from the fact of what you've accomplished in the NFL. And I want to be the first one to shake your hand when you go into that Pro Football Hall of Fame." Cowboys trade proposal lands 2 explosive studs in one bold Steelers move. The Dallas Cowboys aren't one player away. Most people agree with that, and the Cowboys themselves know it. Which is why COO Stephen Jones said what he said. So let's play in the hypothetical sandbox for a minute. COO Stephen Jones recently all but shut down any talk of a potential trade-up in the first round, but he left the door wide open when it came to the idea of trading back. And if history is any indicator, the Cowboys are more than willing to slide down the board if it nets them extra capital. Remember, they moved from pick 10 to 12 in 2021 and still landed Micah Parsons. Just last year, they dropped from 24 to 29 in a deal with the Lions and turned those picks into Tyler Guyton and Cooper Beebe, 2 players they're now counting on in a revamped offensive line. Trading back doesn't just get you more picks, it gets you players. And nobody seems to value draft capital quite like the Cowboys do. Which is why the hypothetical 2-for-1 swaps we're exploring aren't just internet daydreams, they're very much in line with how this front office thinks. The Cowboys currently hold the 12th overall pick, worth 1,200 points on Jimmy Johnson's, Mike McCoy's, iconic draft trade value chart. That's premium real estate. But what if Pittsburgh, thirsty for their quarterback of the future, comes calling with pick 21 and wide receiver George Pickens? And you fan? What do you think about George Pickens' situation? Write to us in the comments.